Good morning, Flagler County. I'm Rich Carroll. You're listening to Flagler's Morning News on Wednesday, November 3rd, and this local news is a service of Flagler County's Toyota dealer, Beaver Toyota, here to wow you. Flagler County schools make their case for rising impact fees, and the county commission has once again delayed a decision. Flagler School Superintendent Kathy Middlestat told commissioners they need to double impact fees, which are one-time levies on new residential construction in anticipation of student growth.
An overcrowding school impacts your culture and your community. It also puts unfair discourse on our families and the opportunities our students would have the ability to exercise.
Flagler School Board member Cheryl Massaro says commissioners should consider inflation.
Nobody's looking at inflation. Everything costs more today than it cost before. It costs more to educate children today than it did 5 years ago. A lot more. We've got to consider what it takes to educate our children in Flagler County the way you want them educated. We all want the same thing. We want the best education we can get. It's a great place to live. Everybody says it's paradise. Maybe it is paradise, but paradise comes at a price. It ain't cheap.
But the school district and commission have been at odds for months now, with commissioners unconvinced by the growth figures the district is using to justify its requests. Commissioner Greg Hansen.
I really don't understand why the builders are against this, because it is a pass-through. But I do understand their stand that these numbers are inaccurate. So I think that's the issue. Do you believe or not believe that we're going to have student growth? And I don't have a crystal ball. So maybe those numbers need to be looked at a little closer.
Commissioner Dave Sullivan cast the sole dissenting vote. He was ready to vote on the proposal last night.
Don't get me wrong. I want good schools. But in a negotiation, both sides have to be heard. If your idea of getting along is we do everything you ask us to do, that may not be what my definition of a negotiation.
The commission says this will be the final delay, and within 60 days, if a new proposal isn't presented, they'll either accept or reject Flagler School's request. A rejection will mean the matter goes to mediation. A Flagler nonprofit helping those with disabilities and special needs is now closer to a new home. Rich Petchke has more.
Whispering Meadows Ranch provides a horse therapy program that's currently located at a private property off John Anderson Highway. Flagler County Administrator Heidi Petito says work is underway for relocation to space at the county fairgrounds, but it's a multi-step process.
Staff has already requested the survey and wetland delineation. We expect that back over the next couple weeks. We also will be submitting our application to the state for approval. That application has to go to the Division of State Lands, and that's for use of the property. We also have a local zoning requirement, a semi-public use hearing with our planning board. Once our wetlands had been delineated, we'll move forward with the water management district to get a stormwater permit, and we're currently working on the lease agreement.
Commissioner Greg Hansen applauds moving Whispering Meadows Ranch to a permanent home.
It's about time. We're moving forward with the equine therapy, and I think it's a good news story for the county and for them.
The process could be wrapped up by early January. For Flagler's Morning News, I'm Rich Petchke.
On June 1st, this city was facing a mayorless council. We didn't have a city manager. We didn't have direction.
And now, after 5 months serving as Assistant City Manager, Jerry Forte will soon be returning to his post as Palm Coast Fire Chief. Forte tells council he never could have taken on this other leadership role had it not been for interim Fire Chief Kyle Berryhill.
Kyle Berryhill stepped up in a big way. He put his family on hold. We asked him to be the leader of the organization for a while. He put off baseball games. He put off time with his family. He lost his dad on August 27th, and he had to deal with that. He also saw what it was like to give out promotions. He hired people, which was the best feeling in the world. He had to do discipline, which is not on the fun side of leadership or management, but he did it with grace and dignity.
Forte returns to the fire department as its chief next Tuesday. From the WNZF Newsroom, I'm Amy Cherry.
A symbolic ceremony is held for members of Flagler County Fire Rescue. Karen Johnson reports.
Flagler County Fire Rescue hosted a traditional push-in ceremony recently at Station 62 located in Bunnell. A traditional push-in ceremony consists of pushing a new apparatus into the fire station bay to bring it into service and ready to run calls. Flagler County Fire Chief Michael Tucker.
The push-in ceremony, it does harken back to the days in the fire service when our apparatus will by horses, and when the crews would be turned to the station. Obviously, horses don't work real well in reverse, so the practice was that they would unhook the horses and the crews would actually have to push, the fire engine back into the station. And so we continue to do that today, with our new apparatus. Just try to hang on to a little bit of that fire service tradition. We took advantage to push in the new rescue that's replacing the rescue.
The new rescue, housed at Station 62, cost just over $224,000, purchased from 10-8 Fire and Safety. It is a 2021 Ford F-450 gas-powered Bronze Chief extra-large ambulance with state-of-the-art features. For Flagler's Morning News, I'm Karen Johnson.
When the community speaks, the hospital listens.
John Subers with Advent Health Palm Coast Hospital said on a recent episode of Today with Pastor Jay that every 3 years there's a community needs assessment. It tells what the community needs from its hospital. Subers said that Flagler and Volusia counties were in it together on this last survey, and they both came up with diabetes as the top of the list.
Our foundation created the Diabetes Alliance, and the Diabetes Alliance is 100% volunteer organization that are a group of people in our community that just care about diabetes and getting the word out and the message out.
Suber said the Alliance raises a little bit of money and does a little bit of educating. Today with Pastor Jay's on WNZF. It's on Sunday mornings at 8. Tomorrow, November, is Diabetes Awareness Month. From the WNZF Newsroom, I'm Deb Albertson.
And now you're up to date on Flagler's Morning News. I'm Rich Carroll.